I'd like to welcome everyone, and before I call this meeting to order, just a point of interest, we continue to try and upgrade our online broadcasting. Aaron's continually reminding us to speak into the microphones when we talk, and he's constantly making adjustments for that. Last week, we did have a few comments come in that our microphones are apparently set a little more sensitive and was picking up chatter in the audience. While we work on that part of it, just be mindful that it may pick up what y'all are saying while you're out there. All right, with that said, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Second. All in favor? Please join us for the invocation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
All right, first up, consent agenda. Everyone have a chance to look at that. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Second. All in favor?
And Suzanne Gerard, I believe you have some special guests here with us tonight.
We do. We have two special guests tonight, and our Director of Student Services, Mr. Joey Millwood, is going to do the honors of introducing our team members from our Health Services Department.
Thank you, and thank you, Board, for allowing us to come tonight. I've prepared a statement. I want to read this because this is too special for me to mess up, so I want to make sure that I read this in a way that's honoring our folks. It's my honor and privilege to recognize Andrea Williamson English, who has recently been elected as President-elect of the Georgia Association of School Nurses. Come on up. You, Michael, come on up here. Okay. All right. This remarkable achievement is one that's so well deserved. Andrea works tirelessly to ensure that our students receive the highest quality health care services each and every day. Her commitment to student wellness is unwavering, and her leadership has been a guiding light for our school health program. As President-elect of the Georgia Association of School Nurses, Andrea will help lead an organization whose mission is to promote and support the development of professional school nurses and to optimize student health and learning through advancing school nursing practice. Their vision aligns perfectly with the work she already does, preparing school nurses to strong leaders, developing comprehensive health programs, and improving the health outcomes of both students and staff. Even as she takes on the significant statewide leadership role, she continues to support our local school nurses, ensuring that our school, both our boys and girls, are healthy, safe, and ready to learn. So, once again, Andrea, thank you, and I can't imagine doing this without you. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Can we come out here and get a good picture?
Sure. Come on.
Now, I'm going to turn it over to Andrea to present our award to our District School Nurse of the Year, and she's going to give you more information about Ellen.
I am really excited. This is actually the big news of the evening. We put up Ellen Neese for the position of, or for the recognition of School Nurse of the Year for the state of Georgia. So we are very excited. Ellen, come on up. Ellen has been in Hall County Schools for 23 years. She has been a nurse for 37 years. The competition is very stiff at the state level, and so we're just very pleased. She's judged on standards of practice, leadership, professionalism, quality improvement. It's a very robust application. Her counselor wrote a letter stating that she was selected by many students as their trusted adult. That doesn't surprise us. Her principal recognized her because she has been the huge liaison and collaborator and promoter of our new school-based health center, and that has been an enormous amount of work. But I, in particular, am very proud of Ellen because she is committed to wellness, which, as you know, is my love, and she's also dedicated to professionalism. She has maintained a membership with the Georgia Association of School Nurses and the National Association of School Nurses for many years without being prompted or even being reimbursed with work. So we are just very proud of her accomplishment, and she will serve us very well.
Andrea, if I could ask you again before we give that, Mr. Harrington, School Nurse of the Year for Hall County and for the state of Georgia, 190 districts in the state, over 2,000 schools, and you are Georgia's
Number one.
School Nurse of the Year. Thank you for what you do. I can hearken back to a time when we didn't have school nurses. I'm not sure how we had school without them, but thank you for everything you and your colleagues do in caring for our boys and girls. And once again, wow, the Georgia School Nurse of the Year in our little district, so thank you.
This right here, right here. I think this one hers or that one's yours. Okay.
Roxy, yeah, let's get Roxy up there, the assistant principal. She just leave?
No, she said
Oh, Roxy, get up there. She's the associate principal at Chicopee Woods, and so get in there. That's Congratulations. That's And I think you're up with teaching and learning.
Yes, I'm excited tonight to bring several updates on where we are with programming and then celebrate some successes that we've had. So we have several that we would like to do. We would like to start with an additional trades and training update. I think last Monday you all had the opportunity to see those folks in person. And Aaron Turpin and his department have been utilizing our trades and training also in a different manner. Aaron, would you be so willing to give us an update?
Thanks, Suzanne. So one of the things that we tried this summer and we believe has been very successful is that, as you guys know, a Chromebook is very much a consumable device. It has a lifespan and then it's done. However, we are getting about 6 years out of our Chromebooks, which is about 2 years more than the industry average for Chromebooks. And we get that because we do a lot of preventative maintenance. One of the challenges that we run into is that we run out of parts. And when I say we run out of parts, the industry runs out of parts, and we're then trying to find parts, and I was paying a premium for the parts. So this summer, we had our interns harvest Chromebook parts for us. When I say harvest Chromebook parts, we have harvested nearly $100,000 worth of parts if we were to go and buy them on the market, because as the supply goes down, the cost goes up for these parts. And so one of the ways that we are looking forward to being a bit more frugal this year is utilizing these parts that we were able to harvest this summer. So I think it's a great use, and frankly, those parts are worth a whole lot more than the few dollars we get when we sell the Chromebooks to the wholesalers on salvage.
So Aaron, these young people, number one, are almost in a position to be certified technicians after their experience, and they have probably saved $100,000 in parts this year as we repair existing Chromebooks.
Absolutely. They definitely all gained valuable skills because not every Chromebook's built the same. And so what they're learning is the core set of principles and what's a good part and what's not a good part, which of course is a huge piece of the puzzle. Great point.
Wonderful. That's what education's supposed to look like. So thank you. Thank you for updating us on that.
Thank you for that update. I now would like to update us on what we're doing to get ready for the new teachers that are coming. Dr. Swafford, about 255-ish new teachers, somewhere along that line?
Yes, and nearly 100 new classified employees as well.
So if we could just look at, along with me, with the slideshow that we have. So the first thing on the slideshow is just new employee orientation, a little bit about that. Teaching and Learning works in conjunction with our Human Resources Department, and we collaborate together to, if I have to say so myself, have an impeccable program for our new teachers. I'm really excited about it and the quality of what we're going to offer them. So just as a reminder, that will begin tomorrow, July 22nd through this Friday. So we will have 4 days. Thanks to you all, the board, for approving that 4th day, which is new this year. So all certified employees will begin tomorrow at their local schools, and that is the new part this year. They will begin a full day at their local school doing onboarding at the local school with their mentors, with their principals, getting the lay of the land of their new school. Then we will transition on Wednesday to the Ramsey Conference Center at Lanier Tech, and this is when we'll have all certified and all classified folks together there at the Ramsey Conference Center. That will be all about human resources. So if you look down there, you will see that they'll talk about code of ethics, building relationships. Dr. Swafford, anything else you want to say about that particular day?
I would. For the first, normally we do a code of ethics presentation, and we also make sure that our new employees have ample opportunity to learn about insurance and the other benefits that they have. But new this year is going to be a session on building relationships and communication. And Jamie Moore and a team of our principals will be sharing some of the broader ideas behind crucial conversations about starting with heart, and about making sure that you've got the right idea that you want to come out of this positive conversation that you're going to have with someone, about mastering our stories and remembering that there's always something going on behind other people's actions, and then working together to collaborate to come up with a mutual way to move forward in that relationship. And so we're really excited about that. And also our guest speaker this year is a gentleman named Josh Shipp, who will be speaking on the power of one caring adult. And we're very excited to have him come and speak to our staff, because we know that that fits right in line with what we just heard about our school nurse from Chicopee Woods and how she was selected as a trusted adult there. And so we know that that's going to be just a way to reinforce that is the expectation in the Hall County School District.
Thank you. And then days 3 and 4 will be all about teaching and learning. So you will see that we will teach them about our diverse populations that we have here in our district. We will make sure they know about the 5 lesson components. We will make sure they know about literacy, about mental health. Really, when you think about new employee orientation, you're thinking about what makes Hall County unique, and what do we want to make sure that new employees come with the understanding of. And then on Friday, we will have more content-specific sessions for secondary. Elementary will spend their time on literacy and numeracy. Then we will also have what we call roundtable sessions, and all participants will have the option between about 38 sessions that they can attend, where a Hall County team member is talking to them about a variety of topics, from classroom management to AI. Participants will choose which one they want to participate in, and we always get rave reviews about that session. So board members, you're invited to attend any portions of that new employee orientation. We would love to have you when we're at the Ramsey Conference Center. Any questions about that?
And did want to make it clear that, Brian, there's not enough fried pie for you to get a fried pie at lunchtime, so plan on that when you...
Maybe one. Okay, and just as a,
I
yes,
would
Dr.
like to
Smith.
say, please stress to them to remind folks that we're kind of living in tough times. I know when I was a principal, and we were in better times then economically, I would have to remind teachers when they gave projects and had things that they needed brought in, that we had kids, you tell them to go home and do a project, they don't have poster board and markers in a lot of homes. And it's going to be even tougher, I think, for folks now. So reminding them that when we do things with kids, that, you know, we do have a diverse population, and we have a high, you know, free and reduced lunch percentage. We were talking last meeting about, you know, the poverty level. It's high in our county. So we need to make sure that, and even on events we have, extracurricular and stuff, making things where all kids can have access to them. I think we've got to make sure we do that.
Thank
that we're
you.
not setting prices and things, you know, for clubs and anything you participate, field trips. we need to keep that all as low as we can because, they're struggling out there financially, I think.
Thank you for that reminder. I'm actually opening up on the Teaching and Learning Day, and so I'll be able to incorporate that into my message that it aligns beautifully, so thank you for that. Okay, and then we've also been busy at work this summer getting ready for school. So those 4 days are just a taste of what we do, but if you look up here, you'll see other things that our brand new teachers have had the opportunity to participate in. So our elementary teachers have had 2 days of math training and 2 days of literacy training where they're learning our curricula that we offer. So math participated in Eureka training. We had our content specialist leading that training, teaching them about the program, modeling lessons for them, and connecting them to the lesson components and our district expectations. The same is true for literacy. Our content specialist for elementary in literacy led those, modeling lessons all around benchmark. You all were so generous to allow us to purchase that last school year, and so we want to make sure that our new folks don't start out behind. So we've offered the 2-day trainings in both of those for our elementary folks to make sure that they're at least on level playing ground as best as possible when school begins. Likewise, the same thing, we do have diverse populations, which you saw reflected in our new employee orientation agenda, and Dr. Smith referred to as well. We also offer our special education teachers 2 days of training where they get a heads up on how to write an IEP that's compliant with the work that we expect. They get management strategies for students. They talk about data collection, instructional strategies, and then they get some resources about how can they best meet the needs of that population. And the same is true for our ESOL teachers. We have 2 days of training offered for them as well, where they learn about ELL strategies, they learn about co-teaching, they learn about what is best for ELL teaching for these special populations. All of the trainings that I've mentioned today, whether it's NEO or whether it's elementary or ESOL, are made possible through your vision as well, and we're able to pay our teachers for this pre-work, if you will, before contracts go out. Any questions about any of that wonderful training that we're trying to make sure that our teachers have their best foot forward when school begins? Okay, thank you. I'm excited next to talk to, for Rhonda Samples, our director, our executive director of CTAE, to talk to you about some CTAE updates, some of which we literally learned about last week. So, Rhonda, talk about how we're going to turn that around.
Correct. Last week, we received notification of these 2 new CTAE initiatives. We're real excited about it. The first one is academic career pathways, and the first thing I want to say is it doesn't eliminate any of the CTA pathways that we have now. We're at around 64, I believe, in the district. Haven't counted them lately. But anyway, we'll still have all of those pathways. But what has happened now is that the academic side has joined the CTAE side, and now we have 21 academic career pathways that is based on the state's high demand industry initiative. So when looking at that document, we have around 12 of those pathways that we will offer this next school year. An example would be a student they still take 3 courses like in a CTAE pathway, but they take an academic course. So a student might take visual arts and they pair it with the first 2 graphics courses, and that makes up a new academic career pathway. So no, we don't need an approval or anything on that. It's just that these will be additional pathways added to the 64 pathways that we already have in the district. What does that mean for our students and schools? For students, more opportunities for them to complete a pathway, and the main advantage for our schools is that every graduate that completes some type of pathway, whether it be just academic, fine arts, CTAE, or now career academic pathway, these career academic pathways, since they are based on high demand industries, will get 1.5 points on the CCRPI for our high schools. Okay, any questions?
Rhonda, so that's certainly an incentive for our schools and our students do they get some graduation regalia as a result of that pathway completion, or what do they get?
We won't have a COV, like Career Tech. Once they finish their pathway, they have to take a credentials of value. But many of our Career Tech students are earning certifications in that first and second course, so they would have that advantage. And of course, we'll treat them as a pathway completer just like anyone else. And when the whole premise behind this is to bring academic and career tech together, to be thinking about what these high demand industries are. And a lot of times our top students are thinking about these careers, but they never step over to the CTAE world. And so they're hoping that they don't have a lot of time in their schedule. So they're hoping that that will open up an opportunity, because a lot of times they are not able to complete 3 courses in a CTAE pathway. And as you know, back several years ago with your approval, we are one of the few districts that have in place honor CTAE classes. So I do think this is a step in the right direction.
Thank you.
All right, and then the second initiative is construction for geometry. So as you know, a student to graduate from high school has to have 4 math units, one of those being algebra, geometry, advanced algebra, plus another 4th math course. So this initiative means that if a student takes and completes the entire construction pathway, which is industry, fundamentals and safety course, intro to construction, and the carpentry 1 course, and if you think about it, you're thinking about all the angles and everything that students are doing, and the blueprints and some of the projects and so forth like that. They are using geometry information. So now, if the student completes those 3 courses, they'll be able to earn a construction geometry credit. And that construction geometry credit is equivalent to the normal geometry credit, which means a student now could have algebra, they might have construction geometry, they still got to have advanced algebra, and then a 4th math. But it opens up another opportunity for these students. Now, the one thing to keep in mind about the construction for geometry credit is this is for students who are going to attend a TCSG college. It is not for your 4. Like if a student's going to attend University of Georgia, one of the 4-year colleges, then this construction for geometry, they still have to have the regular geometry credit. And so this is based off the CTA Plus initiative that we started last year, where students can earn, with 3 classes, they can already earn a ELA credit or a math credit or a science credit if they're geared toward going to a TCSG school, not a 4-year college. And so we've made that quite clear. We went and trained curriculum APs, principals, CTAE APs, counselors, grad coaches, and so we have all those guidelines and documents. In the district, we will go over that again, plus we will add this construction for geometry information in those guidelines. And attached to the agenda tonight are the FAQs for this construction for geometry credit. This initiative does require board approval by the board, that you approve that this construction for geometry credit be allowed in our district, and that it's equivalent to the geometry credit for those students who are going to be attending a TCSG college.
I make that in the form of a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Exciting times, and I think it's just, going back to giving our students more opportunities.
Thank you, Rhonda. How many of us have ever taught a class when a student said, and when am I going to use this, right? And so I'm super excited that the DOE is connecting some of those dots for us so that students can see, yes, that geometry that I'm learning and using in construction actually counts as a math. So thank you for making that approval tonight. Okay, next is some celebratory times for our AP and IB programs. Dr. Lou Allen, our Director of Academic Services, Support Services, will come forth and share the good news.
Thank you so much. Like Suzanne said, we are excited and proud of our advanced placement and IB students this past year. We received our May 2025 scores about 2 weeks ago. And I will say that for our AP exam pass rate at 69%, that's the highest that we've had in our district since 2013. So kudos to our students, our teachers, and the hard work that they have put in.
Amanda, I could be wrong, but I think that's an all-time record for us. That's as far as we've been able to push the records back, but nobody can remember anything like that. So congratulations.
And that's some of the most we've tested too. I mean, that's the high, I looked on that chart, and that was the only one other time did we test that many students.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Last year, I think we had a few more students, but so we're at the same number of students, and they're still achieving at a greater rate. So really proud of our AP programs at our high schools. And you can see here also, College Board has about 5 designations where they delegate AP scholars or designate AP scholars. And so this year we had 397 AP scholars across our district, and this is about 47 more than last year. So what we're seeing is hopefully that our students are continuing to grow in their achievement on their AP exams and success in the AP program. So again, very proud of our students. And our international baccalaureate students also performed well this year. We had a 70% pass rate. We also had 2 courses that had a 100% pass rate, which is very hard to achieve. And so the students in those 2 courses, every student that took the exam passed. And so we're especially proud of them. And then in our program with the IB diploma program, if students complete 6 courses in IB and then also fulfill an extended essay requirement, a community service component, and then a theory of knowledge course, they're eligible for the IB diploma program. And so we had a 79% pass rate of those students who pursued the full IB diploma and achieved it. And within that, we had the IB bilingual diploma and the IB career diploma at Westall High School. And just again, advanced placement is at all of our traditional high schools, and international baccalaureate is at Johnson, North Hall, and Westall High Schools. So again, very proud of our students and grateful to our teachers, and just grateful to you as a board for supporting these programs. And we have AP and IB coordinators at each of our schools, and I feel like they're instrumental in supporting our teachers and students in their success in these programs. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Questions for Amanda? Amanda, you can't even, but let's put that back up if you would, please. Because that participation rate is significantly higher than the state of Georgia, because sometimes people say, oh, you're gaming it. As a matter of fact, some of the states that score extremely high, which would, when I say extremely, like maybe a 73% pass rate, have as low as 30% of their students that are participating in terms of the AP program. That being said, the other piece that's not even up there, if you want to talk about providing opportunities, early college, 1,500 credits, college credits earned by high school juniors and seniors with a 99% pass rate. I would suggest there's nobody in the state of Georgia doing it better than your folks are doing it here in Hall County. Bill, Craig, Brian, I can remember back to a day, and here's your trivia question for tonight. When you looked at me and during my evaluation, you said those AP scores have to go up. In 2013, what % of our students were passing AP exams?
I'm cheating, but I have the data here.
It's burned in my mind. 29% of our students in 2013. Bill, you made the recommendation, and it was a very strong recommendation that we need to get some coordination in our schools, that even though those were hard times, you thought we ought to be funding a position that helped our AP teachers do a better job of teaching it. There's been a steady increase in the percentage of students taking and passing those scores ever since. But 69% is not something we should miss the celebration of. That translates into success for boys and girls, and I want to thank this board for supporting that and helping us make that a priority in this district. So Amanda, thank you for you and your team and your schools and all the work that they're doing. But that's just pretty darn incredible right there.
Mr. Schofield, one thing I would like to add is that in a lot of those districts you were referring to, students get the option if they take that exam or not. That is not the practice here in Hall County. In Hall County, if you're enrolled in the course, our expectation is that you take the exam, and we fund that. You all do. And so that is a tremendous difference in that data to make us even more proud because of our expectation that students enrolled should take the exam. So thank you.
By the way, what leads to these opportunities for these large numbers is 5 years before that, actually it was 6 years before that, you bought into the reality that there's no reason that middle school students should not be taking high school courses for credit. We now have approximately 85% of our middle school students earning Carnegie High School units. I can't tell you how many times I heard, what's the big hurry? Why do we have to get these kids in advanced programming early? And here's the answer. We've got half of our kids looking out the window bored saying, what in the world does this have to do with anything I want to do with the rest of our life? High expectations, high support. Our kids can do absolutely, positively anything. So thank you to this board for believing that. I'm tired of hearing that we're a poor district, that we have too many students who don't speak the language. Our students can do anything, and Amanda, those teachers are proving that, so thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay. On the realm of celebration, we have Dr. Carter here, your newly improved secondary director, I might add.
Not improved, but newly, for sure.
I'd say improved.
I agree. I completely agree. So Dr. Carter is going to talk really about his time as principal at Flowery Branch, which is where we have moved him from, and the exam exemption policy, the results that we had last year. Flowery Branch piloted a program, so we're going to see the results of that, and then he's going to talk to you about potential forward moves.
I'm not going, we're going to put you on the spot though, Dr. Carter, because I happen to know these numbers too. What % of AP exams were passed at Flowery Branch High School last year?
79%.
What % were passed?
79%.
So nearly 80% of the individuals, and there's a lot of them at Flowery Branch High School taking AP exams, scored a 3 or higher. Kudos to you and your team down there for the hard work they're doing with the students at Flowery Branch High School.
Well, I can't take a lot of credit. It's the students and the teachers down there, but I appreciate that. So
I'd agree.
Figured you would. Last summer, I went to Will and asked if we could pilot an exam exemption policy. In other words, trying to get more kids to be in school more often and also have more academic engagement. And so if we'll look at go to the next slide there. So the program purpose, obviously, improve attendance. And so the exam exemption policy, you had to be exempt from the exam, you had to have 5 or fewer absences and maintain a 90 average in the class. So 5 or fewer absences and a 90 average in the class in order to exempt the teacher final exam. They couldn't exempt the AP exam or EOC. And so if you'll click on the next slide, they have the data there from Flowery Branch High School, and I have some additional data to share with you districtly, but the numbers are a little bit off there. It's almost 12% decrease in the number of students missing 6 or more days. So that number went up, and then down at the bottom you will see the number of students percentage of students that actually exempted at least one of those exams. And so when we went and pulled our district data for chronically absent students, and the way our district defines it on the analytic view is they missed 18 days or more. So for the district, the 9th graders that were listed as chronically absent were 25.5%. 10th grades was 27.5%. 11th grade was 27.1%. And 12th grade was 41%. That means 41% of our kids in Hall County were listed as chronically absent, missing if they're full-time enrolled 18 days. And so furthermore, we looked at the high schools. As far as the chronically absent for the high schools, this past year, Flowery Branch had the lowest percentage of students that were chronically absent. The closest was about 4% away. And so we're not asking the board to take any action on this tonight. We're just presenting the data, and we'd like to possibly present this to board for a policy moving forward starting in August. Anything to add, Suzanne, or I'd leave out?
No, I would just like to say to the board, the trend that we're seeing in attendance is not a Hall County trend, right?
Absolutely.
The state, the nation, in fact, if you see, I think I shared, and I know I shared with our cabinet a month or so ago, some trending issues to watch in Georgia, and attendance was certainly one of the 12 or so that our state has identified as issues to watch. So I appreciate Dr. Carter when he was principal at Flowery Branch and now as the director, and our other principals trying to get ahead of this. Like, how can we be proactive and provide some influences, if you will, to help get students there? We have to have them there to teach them. And certainly some of the attendance issues are out of our control, but many are within.
Any questions?
So there's an ask here. You or Suzanne going to ask for the next meeting? Let the
So-
board know.
So we just wanted you to hear that data today, to begin to think about it, to have the opportunity to do your own research and to ask any questions that you have. And then we'll be bringing it back to you at our next board meeting for the opportunity to allow other schools to participate in an exam exemption practice.
So to be clear, Flower Branch High School, we allowed them to do a pilot last year. They were the only district. At one time, all of our schools had exam exemption. That's been gone for 6, 7 years at least.
I've been up here, yes, at
And-
least.
And so we, again, are asking you to consider that, not tonight, but just look at the data, consider it, and we'll get you the information for a formal ask before our next meeting. So, thank you.
Okay, I think next up we have field trips. There is one field trip before you. This is not until February of next year. I do not need any action right now on that. That will sit until next time, and then I will ask for action moving forward. I just noticed that. We need to fix that. It's a good thing, right? That I don't need it. If that's already happened, we don't need approval. I was just noticing that, Craig. Thank you. I'll get that date changed to the 26th year, and then we will ask for you to approve that next board meeting. Thank you. We need Dr. Brown here. He's the one that always finds those.
In terms of the budget discussion, I would remind you that we have been posting the budget, making changes to our website since April. That continues to be there, and if you go to hallco.org, there's the first banner that you see. And if you click on that banner, first you have to go back to it. And then the PDF. We decided tonight we'd quit cutting trees. Those are the exact and up-to-date numbers for the general fund highlights, and as you page down, you have a detailed portion for every expenditure. That's the summary page, and after that are the detail pages, function 1000 through all of the other functions that detail every projected expenditure in the FY26 budget. So once again, did want to open up for any questions with the board. We've been talking about this longer than normal. We should already have a budget adopted. We all know the reasons we do not, but be glad to open it up for questions. And again, you've had a little time to think about the rollback rate, which is what we're targeting right now, assuming we don't get any more surprises. And again, I would ask the board to continue to be aware of the situation with the possibility that there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 or 85% of our taxpayers that are probably paying a little more than their share and what they ought to, because we have a sinking suspicion that the senior exemption is being misapplied to individuals who don't qualify. So this is not picking on seniors. Seniors who qualify ought to get the exemption. Individuals who don't ought to be paying their taxes so that the rest of the taxpayers are not picking up someone else's portion of that. So Craig and I have had a meeting with the county. We think we have some pieces in place. We're not ready to talk about it at this point. But as a father of people who are home buying age, who aren't in any position to even consider buying a home because of prices and inflation, that troubles me. I think it's something we need to get a handle on. Questions, comments?
In many cases, these are, from what we're hearing, are not intentional as far as trying to avoid taxes. It's just that the family takes over the house after the owner passes away and the exemption stays on the home, or it transfers to someone else and the exemption never is taken off, and they've just not been catching that.
Who's supposed to be checking that when you make that transaction?
The county tax assessors have the constitutional obligation to levy appropriately and fairly all laws that are passed by the state of Georgia, so that would fall on the county assessor's office. Jonathan, in terms of a budget adoption calendar, we now are still expecting the final digest to be delivered to us by
August 14th.
August 14th. And because we're rolling the millage back, we'll only have one millage hearing right before we adopt the budget, and we could adopt a budget as early as.
The September work session.
Questions for Jonathan on that? If not, if you'd bring us up to date on the financial report, please.
Yes, sir. This is a June interim financial report, so this is the data as of, this is the data, we're not completely closed out yet, but this is the data that we have as of the most recent, just this past Friday. So if you have any questions about any specific items, just let me know.
Do you want to approve that tonight? Do we not?
We can, but since it's not an official report, it's an interim one, we don't officially have to approve it.
Well, let's approve it anyway. I'd like to ask the board to approve the interim financial report. We've done that once a month for 20 years. We're going to continue.
Have a motion? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Resolution, John.
Yes, sir. This was the item that we brought at the work session just last week. This is the spending resolution for the month of August in relation to some of the House Bill 581 delays that we've discussed previously. If you have any questions, just let me know.
I'd like to recommend that the spending resolution for the month of August be approved as presented. Keep in mind, this will be basing a budget on FY 25 for the FY 26 year, which we now are 3 weeks into.
Have a second? Any discussion? With the expected not to approve the final digest and budget till September, will we have to do a third one?
Yes, sir. One for September.
All in favor?
Jonathan, budget amendment number 5, I believe it's overwhelmingly cleanup for state grants, but if you'd walk the board through that, please, and let's get that approved.
Yes, sir. Overwhelmingly, it is for state grants. One item that we do have on there is for the stop arm cameras that we've discussed in previous board meetings. That's just the startup cost to purchase those initial kits. And don't forget that some of that will be paid for through citations in a revenue sharing agreement with the Sheriff's Office.
By the way, you will be seeing, we just filmed today some awareness campaigns with the Sheriff's Office. The Hall County School District has no interest in getting involved in law enforcement. However, if there is one law that puts a young boy or a young girl's life at risk every time it's broken, it's individuals passing a school bus when the red lights are on and the arms are out. So I thank this board for making that investment. Unfortunately, when we do checks, there's far too much of that happening on a daily basis. And if these arms and the awareness campaign can do anything to improve that situation, it's worth every penny. So thank you. Questions on budget amendment? And Jonathan, I'm assuming budget amendment number 5 will be the final for the FY 25 budget? I think that's a maybe. Like to recommend budget amendment number 5 be approved as presented.
Do I have a motion? Second. All in favor?
Jonathan, you're a busy man tonight. As required by law, the quarterly report for school-based accounts.
As Will said, it's before you. If you have any questions, let me know.
Once again, this requires no action. It just is a requirement of the law that you be appraised of the school-based accounts on a quarterly basis.
I guess Matt's next.
Yes. I just wanted to give just a quick overview of where we are with summer projects. As we're closing those out this week, we are in good shape. We're going to be ready with all of our projects. We had a wide variety this year. of projects ranging from a new school opening at Everwood all the way down to portable moves at Flower Branch Elementary. But just a few things I wanted to kind of point out so that get a little bit of a feel of what the summer was like. Again, as I mentioned several times as we've gone over these, we actually opened more square footage last year, but I don't remember a year where we've been in so many places as this year. I went through this today and came up with, we are at 26 locations. Facilities is working at 26 locations this summer. We had 13 major projects, 12 of those CM at risk, one bid project at North Hall Middle School. We have 4 that are continuing long-term projects in Johnson High, North Hall High, World Language Academy, and the Transportation Department as we finish out the build-out of the office area. 16 of our projects were self-performed, and 5 of those had a partnership with Trades and Training Construction Program. So we're very proud of what our team has done this year, and I think I used the term transformational, but you're going to see some, as you get around to some of these schools, I would encourage you to go check out Sardis, Tadmore, Johnson High, several of these that really are going to make a big difference. The before and after is drastic. North Hall Middle, Car Rider Line is another one that comes to mind.
Questions? Great updates. It's the, Matt, I think it's probably the least last-second fire drill we've had in terms of getting in and out. So kudos to your team and to our local contractors that are working with us. Any questions for Matt? Did have somebody that drove by North Hall High School and said, boy, they got a lot of work to do to get kids in there within a week. And I would agree, since the projected finish date is next April, that there'd be a lot of work to get done if we were going to put kids in there. Jonathan, if you'd go back to that Q4 school-based accounting report, and I would ask you to do one thing. The total, whoever's running the elementary total is incorrect. If you'd get that corrected, please, and repost it, I'd appreciate that. Personnel, Dr. Swafford.
I wanted to first give you guys an update on where we are vacancy-wise. We only have 3 vacancies open in the school district, and so that is really fantastic news. We've got 1 elementary, 1 middle, and 1 high position, and in fact, one of those will no longer be a vacancy as of tomorrow. We're going to be able to close that deal, and then the other 2 principals are also very close on hiring for their positions as well. So we're in a really good place, and I'm excited for everyone. You also have the personnel packet in front of you for tonight that you received on Friday afternoon. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we would like action on that tonight, please.
One.
All in favor?
Mr. Niles, if you want to bring us the public participation. Oh, you got it already. You're fast. You're fast.
Susan?
Hello, happy summer. It's been a couple months since I talked to you, I think. I wanted to tell you that Johnson's been really great with talking to me and about the budget and stuff, and I really appreciate it. I just wanted to acknowledge him. And I appreciate, Mr. Turpin, the effort you guys are taking to speak into the microphones and everything. It can really tell a difference. Again, I really would like to strongly urge you to take your live stream and save it online. And the only reason, well, there's several reasons, but there's so many people who can't come and who cannot watch during this period of time. And so you have people in your community who are taping these currently, and they're posting them, which is fine. But I feel like if you look at it and you say, why is it the school board posting it? There's a question about transparency. Also, in the age of AI that's coming up, people could manipulate what you have that is being videotaped. They could change the voices because it can be done. You've seen it. So think about that as you go forward, because you should be the owner of the video, the original transcript. And the only way you can be that owner is to publish it and say, here's the official place to find it. So I would just like to, bring that to you again. It's really important to show the transparency that you have. The second item that I'd like to mention, I saw that the property at Stallworth Street was put up for sale, and I realized that if any kind of selling actually happens, it'll be an executive session. I know that. But if it does sell, or if there is some different, there's a change in how it's done or what's going to be done, if it's kept, whatever, once a decision is made, we would appreciate just being told about what's happening, and that way we just kind of can close it up. So those are my two items tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. By the way, that is public knowledge, and we said at our last meeting that I anticipated action. The board came out and approved the contract. It is, and that will be published, but there's no secrets. You can certainly call Matt and get a copy of anything you want to, and it will be public if and when the closing goes through.
Right. I figured it would. I just wanted to say, hey,
Absolutely.
throw it out to us so we'll know and to look for it.
And on your first point, we've actually been having those conversations internally, and with the AI monster now out of the bottle, I have to say that I'm starting to lean that you're making a lot of sense with that point right now, so thank you.
Sure. Thanks.
Let me say a word about that. I was just talking to the guys in the booth beforehand. I know when Bo and I went through new members training here last year, they did one of the big presentations had a lot to do with the online stuff. And I talked with three of the, top tier people in the Georgia School Board Association about how they recommended it being done. Do you leave it up? Do you take it down? And I was telling them, the three of them all had different opinions about that. They were just across the board on it. Some was like, yes, put it up there. Some put it up, put everything up, left everything up, but they cut it off at the public opinion, public input part. And then others said, no, we don't want to mess with it. We don't put it up. So, it's a wide variety, and personally, I haven't had, the year that I've been back, I could lean either way on that. So, for what it's worth.
Well, and I think we're seeing, not that anybody would ever do this, I say that as cynically as I possibly can. Individuals with agendas take things out of context, and seem to garner some sort of pleasure out of that. We're past that day and age right now. It's so rampant that that's no longer really the big argument. And as Susan said, with AI and what we're seeing, people being able to take something and change it, I do think there's some value in us owning the copy of the meeting, so that it's accurate.
That's even changed in like a year.
Yes.
Because I wasn't thinking some of the thoughts in terms of AI as I am now, and we had the AI conference we went to. Aaron had a big part in that. That was huge, and so that's a point well taken.
So thank you, Susan. Appreciate it.
All right, Frank.
I am here to address you about destructive, deadly climate change and the opportunity you have to do something about it. This is from Inside Climate News. The price of climate change is high, and the bill is only getting steeper as temperatures continue to rise, economists say. A recent report compiled by risk management experts with the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in the University of Exeter in England found that the global economy could experience a 50% loss in gross domestic product between 2070 and 2090 due to climate change. based on current emission trends. An organization that is thinking about 2070. In the U.S. alone, extreme weather costs roughly $150 billion each year from direct impacts such as damage to infrastructure, agricultural losses, and widespread injuries, according to a 2023 federal assessment. I'll remind you that insurance companies do not absorb those losses, but pass them on to all of us. The January report authored by the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries and the University of Exeter found that the world is facing an increasing risk of planetary insolvency. It's the first time I read that phrase. When ecosystems become so degraded that they can no longer help prop up human society. You have the opportunity to do something about this. You need a win-win program to demonstrate your willingness to work at the budget challenges you are facing. Including solar electric systems in your construction plans represents an investment in your energy consumption as opposed to just burning up funds to produce electricity. A lot of funds have been burned to keep this room so cold this evening. It also represents an investment in the future of the Hall County students attending our public schools. Our federal government has acted short-sightedly in eliminating subsidies for green energy programs. That is unwise, and you must act wisely. Act to protect the future of the children for whom you are responsible.
Thank you, Frank.
There's nothing else. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? I timed it just right, didn't I there, Bill? All in favor?
Thank you all very much.